You're not actually alone because nobody wants you. You're alone because you've spent years being everything everyone needed. And somewhere in that process, you lost a thread back to yourself. That feeling at 3 a.m. when the noise finally stops and your own thoughts become unbearable, that's not loneliness. That's the first honest conversation you've had with yourself in months. There was a man who understood this completely. Not a therapist, not a monk, a man who had every reason to drown himself in distraction and chose silence instead. What he discovered in that silence didn't just change him, it made him impossible to break. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the thing you've been running from is the only thing that can actually save you. And here's what nobody tells you. The moment you stop fearing being alone is often the exact moment you become someone worth being with. Seneca is dying, not slowly, not peacefully. Emperor Nero has just sent soldiers to his home with one order: take your own life, or we will take it for you. And what does Seneca do in those final hours? He writes, not a plea, not a protest, letters to a friend named Lucilius about fear, about time, about what it means to actually live before you die. Think about that for a moment. A man facing execution, and his final act is going inward, not outward toward escape, not toward crowd or comfort. Inward. It is not that I'm brave. It is that I finally have nothing left to perform. He had spent decades in Rome's most powerful circles, wealth, influence, Caesar's inner court, all of it. And in the end, the only thing that held was what he had built in solitude: his mind, his values, his relationship with himself. That's what this is really about. Not isolation, not withdrawal, the specific kind of inner strength that only gets built when the noise disappears. Ask yourself something honest. When was the last time you sat in complete silence? No podcast, no music, no scroll, and just let yourself think. Most people genuinely cannot remember, and that's not an accident. We built an entire civilization around the avoidance of that exact moment, because that moment is where things get uncomfortable. The Stoics had a word for what most people do instead: fuga, flight from self. Seneca wrote, retire into yourself as much as you can, not as spiritual advice, as a warning, because a person who cannot be alone with their own thoughts is controlled by whoever fills that silence for them. Social media fills it. Other people's opinions fill it. The need for constant validation fills it. And slowly, without realizing it, you stop living your own life and start performing one. The most dangerous prison has no walls. It's the version of yourself you built to make others comfortable. Here's a practical shift, and it's smaller than you think. Tomorrow morning, before you check anything, sit in silence for 10 minutes. No input, no output, just you and whatever rises. Whatever thought makes you most uncomfortable in that silence, write it down. Don't fix it. Don't judge it. Just acknowledge it exists. That single act begins to dissolve the hold that is over you, because you cannot change what you keep refusing to look at. Carl Jung spent decades studying what he called a shadow, the parts of a person they bury because those parts feel too painful, too shameful, or too frightening to face. And he found something that should concern all of us. The shadow doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It gets stronger. It starts making decisions for you, from underneath, from the dark. And you experience those decisions as emotions you can't explain. Reactions that seem too big for the moment. Patterns that keep repeating no matter how many times you try to start over. Different relationship, same argument. Different city, same feeling. Different goal, same self-sabotage. You don't keep ending up in the same pain because you're unlucky. You end up there because the part of you creating it has never been seen. Epictetus understood this. A man who was enslaved, physically broken, legally owned, and still managed to become one of the most psychologically free humans who ever lived. His freedom wasn't external. It couldn't be. He had none. It was built entirely in the space between what happened to him and how he chose to respond. That space only exists when you know yourself, and you only know yourself in silence. So the action here isn't dramatic. Tonight, write down 3 thoughts you keep pushing away. The ones that surface the moment things go quiet. Don't analyze them. Just let them exist on the page outside your head. That's where their power over you begins to break. Now here's the part most people never reach, because they quit before this shift happens. When you stop needing approval, something unexpected occurs. It isn't that you become cold. It isn't that you stop caring about people. It's that your decisions, for the first time, become actually yours. You stop adjusting your opinions in rooms to make people comfortable. You stop explaining yourself to people who have already decided what they think of you. You stop shrinking to fit spaces you've already outgrown. Epictetus said, "Freedom is secured not by fulfilling desires, but by removing the attachment to them." Most people hear that and think about money or possessions, but the heaviest attachment most people carry isn't to things. It's to being understood, to being liked, to never being misread or rejected or left behind. And as long as that attachment runs your life, you are not free. You are performing, constantly monitoring, constantly adjusting, constantly asking the room for permission to exist as you are. The Stoics called the alternative autarkia self-sufficiency, not arrogance, not isolation, simply this: I know who I am well enough that I don't require your confirmation to keep being it. Self-sufficiency isn't thinking you don't need people. It's knowing exactly who you are when none of them are watching. The action here is confrontational, and I won't pretend otherwise. Pick one area of your life where you are performing, one opinion you've kept hidden, one boundary you keep not setting, one version of yourself you only allow in private, and ask, what would I choose here if absolutely no one was watching? Whatever answer comes, that's the direction your actual life is in. I want to share something with you directly. There was a period in my own life when silence was unbearable, not because nothing was in it, because too much was. Decisions I kept avoiding, feelings I didn't have language for, a version of myself I wasn't sure I could respect. So I did what most people do. I stayed busy. I stayed connected. I kept the noise running, until one day the noise stopped working, and I had no choice but to sit with what was actually there. What I found wasn't what I feared. It was quieter than that, and more honest. Just a person who had been running so long, he'd forgotten what he was running from. Marcus Aurelius wrote this, alone at night, never intending for anyone to read it. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, not the quality of your relationships, not your achievements, your reputation, the number of people who show up for you, the quality of your thoughts. And your thoughts are only as clear as the silence you allow them. Most people spend more time managing their notifications than examining their own mind, then wonder why life feels like it's happening to them instead of being built by them. The silence you've been avoiding isn't empty. It's the only place where what's actually true about you can finally be heard. That person at 2:17 a.m., waiting for a message that doesn't come, questioning whether any of this is going somewhere. Maybe that person is you right now. And maybe you've been reading this season as punishment, as evidence that you're behind, that something is wrong. What if it's the opposite? What if the people who learn to be alone, really alone without running, are the ones who eventually become impossible to manipulate, impossible to diminish, impossible to lose? Not because life got easier, because they finally met themselves. If something in this found you at the right moment, you don't need to do anything dramatic with that. Just sit with it, let it settle. And maybe tomorrow morning, before the noise starts again, give yourself 10 minutes. No input, just silence. See what's actually there. Seneca wrote this in his final hours. One who is everywhere is nowhere. You've been everywhere. It's time to go somewhere that actually matters. Inside,